If you're using bid caps in your Meta ad account and wondering why results are stuck or your campaigns aren't even spending, then this is a video for you. Bid caps, they seem like a smart way to control your costs, but in most cases, they're actually killing your performance. And let me explain and show you why this is happening. And if you're new here, my name is Vincent. I'm the founder of Chipper, and we help e-com brands scale predictably and profitably with our identity hooking system, so you will never have to guess which ad is converting and which creative works. And today we're talking about bid caps, why they don't work for 95% of the brands, and what you should be doing instead to keep performance stable without actually limiting your reach. So let's just start with the basics. When you set up a bid cap in Meta ads, you're telling the algorithm only enter the auction when the cost per result is below X amount of dollars. And that might sound good on paper, but in reality, you're actually putting a tight leash on the Meta ads auction system. And here's the problem. Meta doesn't always have the volume of cheap impressions if you're asking for it, especially at scale. So what happens? Your campaign barely gets any spend, or it starts to spend erratically, and even worse, you often end up paying more per result when it finally does spend, because Meta is working with artificial constraints. Meta's strength is in optimization at scale. It thrives when it has breathing room, flexibility in budgets, audiences, and bidding. And bid caps, they do exactly the opposite. They box the system in. And here's what we see when brands use bid caps too early or too aggressively, and I'll show you exactly what this does to an ad account later in the video. The campaigns, they never exit learning. Their ROAS becomes volatile, and winners are misjudged too early, and worst of all, creatives don't get enough delivery to be properly tested, and your data is diluted and not accurate. So instead of protecting your ROAS, you're actually hurting it by starving the campaign of delivery data. And now, to be fair, there are very limited scenarios where a bid cap can actually be helpful. The first one is that you're running a very large budget and want to throttle spend on specific ad sets. The second one is that you're in a super competitive vertical with tight margins, or if you're scaling a proven winner and use bid caps for efficiency and not testing. But unless you're doing 500K a month with deep attribution modeling and volume data, you're better off avoiding bid caps entirely. And for 95% of the brands, it's simply premature optimization that will cost you way more in misconversions than it saves you in cheaper CPMs. And I also made a separate video on how you should structure your ad account, and you can find that one in the description down below. So what should you actually be doing instead? You basically use cost caps if you must control efficiency, but understand that it's still very limiting. Or what we always do is use a CBO campaign and let Meta allocate spend to where the performance is the strongest. Or you can focus your control efforts on the creative testing and audience segmentations and not on bid capping. So let the algorithm do its thing. Meta in 2025 performs the best when you give it room, so the more signals it gets from clicks, add to carts, purchases, the better it will optimize. And trying to outsmart it with strict bid caps often does more harm than actually good. So let's just dive straight into an ad account of a new client that we onboarded that is actually using bid caps to show you the big ass difference. So if we jump over to the ad account, as you can see, they have been running a lot of different ads every single time, from bid caps to bid caps to bid caps. And they came to us with a big problem that they're not able to scale. And the first thing that we saw were two major things that we always see in a lot of ad accounts is barely any creative testing. And the second one is using bid caps. And these two, they're oftentimes linked together. For example, with this one, their bid cap is at $20. As you can see, it's already $7 more spent. And already the first signal that you can see is this is a CBO campaign, $100 a day. In the last 30 days, it only spent $14. So that means that if you want to scale, you're actually not scaling because you're not spending the full amount. The second one is here, the bid caps as well, $25. As you can see, only one is generating better results. And look at what one or which one it is doing. It is the one with zero bid cap. And as you can see, it is $40 every single day. It's around, what is it, around $200 a day that they should be spending. But the last 30 days, normally, if they spent the full amount, they would have spent around $6,000, right? But they've only spent around, what is it? Yeah, they spend $1,000 instead of spending $6,000, so 6 times less. And the results are not even near. This one is the only one that is getting good results with the ROAS. But so if you dial back, the bid caps, first of all, as you can see, they're not spending a lot of money and they're restricting your data, because I will show you it's in a minute, right? What we did is we put up a CBO campaign with creative testing, and as you can see in the beginning, the results are not the best. And I'll show you exactly why that is and why and how we're basically improving it as well. If we go over, we always take the main winning ads from all the historical data, plug them into a CBO campaign with the first ad set with the main creatives, right? So if we go to Intuit, the first thing that you will see in the last 30 days, we took them over in July, it's now June. The first thing that you see is in the last 30 days, this one was getting the most amount of spend in the beginning, but was not profitable. So that signals to us that their past winner, right, that they were using bid caps with, was actually not the real winner, because they're just putting constraints into it, as you can see, the cost per result. Then their current winner that they're constantly duplicating and duplicating is actually not getting the real results or cost per results that they think they are, because they're pressurizing Meta to make a cost per result of $25, while in reality it is almost double the amount, as you can see, right? And then other ads that are now getting spent are actually performing way better already. The same with here, as you can see, the cost per purchase is around $1 because it's just spending money and testing. And that's the biggest thing, is that you're testing and testing. And that's why bid caps are not working at all, because you limit it. So as you can see, you're not spending a lot of money. Your results are not how it actually is. And it shows it itself. The bid caps, the one without the bid caps, are actually performing way better. And so if you're using bid caps right now, and your campaigns they are not spending, or your results are stalling, it is probably not a creative problem, it is actually a campaign structure problem. So drop the bid caps, let the system breathe, and if you're serious about performance, building campaigns that give Meta space to work, you just stick with a one campaign CBO. And if this helped, leave a comment, subscribe, and let me know what kind of setup you're running. And of course, if you want to scale profitably and predictably using the identity hooking system, you know where to find me. Click the link down below and book a call with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.